Good evening. Welcome to the 7th annual Iowa City Spells Spelling Bee. We have an exciting evening ahead of us with 13 teams competing. And we're going to have lots of really good words. I'd like to thank the Sheraton for hosting the event tonight and Bill Nusser and Hans Jewelers for being our event sponsor. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you Bill Nusser, who will once again be our very charming and entertaining Master of Ceremonies.
Hey. Thank you, and good evening to everybody. I hope if you're watching this on television on Tuesday, February 17th, you're watching it live, and you're watching it live from the Sheraton Hotel in downtown Iowa City, because the library is under construction at this point, and there's no available facility for this year only. And if it weren't for the Sheraton, we wouldn't be able to have this year. And so we are grateful to Chuck Goldberg and his staff here for making this possible. And Barbara, what annual spelling bee is this? The 7th annual spelling bee. And we have a lot of people who have, we have a lot of recidivists here. There's a word to spell tonight, as well as a lot of new people, and we're very thrilled to see what's going to happen. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the people that will be officiating over this and helping us along. First of all, our pronouncers tonight are going to be Jody Hovland, who has done it for us for many years, almost every year, and she's from the Riverside Theater. She's the co-artistic director, is that correct, of Riverside Theater?
Yes, sir.
Jody is wonderful. You won't want to leave after hearing her pronounce words. And then the lovely and talented Maureen Delaney, who is going to be doing audience participation words. She'll be, we'll be giving prizes for audience participation, so you'll be out there spelling on your own out here, and you'll be kind of amazed at what you can and can't spell with her. We have two judges. I'm going to introduce Shaner Magalhães first. Shaner's been a familiar face behind the scenes of the Spelling Bee for every year that it's been, and it's our pleasure to have him as judge. I'm going to introduce Ted Brigham, secondly, because Ted was a finalist in the 1999 National Spelling Bee, and that deserves our applause. So finally, with Ted, we have a real guy who really knows what he's doing. And I told Ted beforehand, I always screw up something, so you're going to have to let me know. And he assured me he would. I'd also like to remind the audience that we have, the timekeeper, Susan Craig, from the director of the public library right here, who you'll learn to really dislike her after a while, because she's a strict timekeeper, and she'll keep you on the straight and narrow. And we also have Maeve Clark, our official sound effects person, yes, without whom this would not be quite the event that it is. We have refreshments courtesy of the Hy-Vee Food Store, and this is the Hy-Vee Food Store on South First Avenue, and they're continually generous to us. We have prizes donated by the Prairie Lights Bookstore on South Dubuque Street. I hope we all know Prairie Lights. Cookies by Design, that's the audience participation prize, and that certainly looks worth it. The Iowa City Public Library has provided all sorts of things for this. The Bookend, which is the Iowa City Public Library's bookstore, which is located right now on Lynn Street, right across the alley from the library, and is a wonderful resource for used books to be purchased inexpensively, and they could also always use your used book donations. So if you have books to donate, and that's you in the television audience too, bring them to the Bookend at any time. Okay, let's hear about our teams. We have 10 teams tonight. I'm going to introduce them in order that they're going to be spelling tonight, and the first are the Logocephalics. Is that correct? And the Logocephalics are sponsored by the Bookend Committee. The spelling for the Logocephalics are Robin Lilly, Patricia Martin, and Carol Pinkham. Team number 2, I should say that the Logocephalics are all volunteers at the Bookend, the used bookstore from the library. Team number 2 is the Headliners. The Headliners are sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette. They are a perennial team here, and they've done quite well. and I won't mention those other years. We have, this is their 5th year here. They were actually second once here, and this year are comprised of Linda Alexander, who's been here many times, Lyle Muller, who we all know and has been here many times, and Jim O'Neill, who they say is their ringer this year, their spell checker. Team number 3 is a new team for us. It's the West Bank Spellers. And West Bank, they are sponsored by West Bank, which is right across the street from the Sheridan here. West Bank is a new bank in Iowa City. The president, Lynn Rowett, is one of the spellers. And he is joined by Laura Gapp and Jill Ferguson, all standing right there. And they are, Lynn, of course, when I asked Lynn why he was doing this, and he said working for the library is the right thing to do, which we believe, but the 2 other women told me that Lynn was making them. So we know what's going on. Team number 4 is the Phi Alpha Delta Pre-Law Fraternity. It's which is a professional fraternity on campus here at the University of Iowa. They're sponsored by Knutson Construction Services, who've been a long-time sponsor of the Spelling Bee. They are Kelly Milliker, and Kelly and her family have been here many times, and Kelly's mother works for Knutson Construction, and that's how Kelly says that she was not forced but encouraged to, and her father, right, but encouraged to be in this team and to be in the Spelling Bee, and Carissa Swanstrom, and they have helping them Christy Clayton here tonight too. Team number 5 are the Savants. There are 2 2-year vets on this team and 1 3-year vet, which is Duke McGrath. They are sponsored this year by McGrath Financial Services, as always, which is Duke McGrath, as you can imagine. And besides Duke, we have Judy Stebrel and Holly Herco on that team. You can look for a lot out of that team. They've been nervous before, but this year they're not, so look out from the Savants. Number 6, I'm happy to see because I have children at West High School. This is the West High Spellcasters. They're sponsored by the Zap Learning Company, which in other incarnations have supported both the library and the Spelling Bee generously for every year that I think that we've been here. Mrs. Van Zanny, who's here tonight, where is she? There she is back there. I have a concern, Mrs. Van Zanny. I understand that these volunteers, these 3 student volunteers who are actually Sarah Gordon, John Russell, and Jennifer Miracle, are not getting any extra credit for being here tonight, in which she says that's right. I think it's wrong, but that's not my job. The team number 7 are the Letterheads, and there's and they are sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees, which we're happy to have them as sponsors, of course. And they are comprised of Dave Moore, Wayne Patton, and Pat Schnack. And they are also, I didn't ask them how many times they've been here, but they've been here a number of times. The team is a perennial spelling beers, and we wish them well tonight too. Team number 8 is a very interesting team. We're looking for a lot from them. This is they're called Spellbound. They are sponsored, and don't let this make you think anything bad about the team, but they're sponsored by Lensing Funeral and Cremation Service. Now, Mike Lensing is a very big supporter of the public library, of course, and we have B.J. Wagner, who has been in the Spelling Bee a number of times, and thank goodness, because her teammates are Ann Lohaus and Tanya Alford. And I asked how they became involved, and Ann and I have known each other a long time, and I don't think Ann and I or either would call each other spellers by nature. Ann said she was literally brought dragging and screaming by Tanya, who saw in the paper that this was going on, and I'll be interested to see what kind of friends they are after this evening. Good luck. And thank goodness for BJ. Number 9, we have Webster's Collegiates, and the Webster's Collegiates are sponsored by the University of Iowa Credit Union. They've been here for 3 years, and they're very good library souls. They're here because they like to support the library, as is everybody. I mean, it's remarkable as I walked around beforehand asking people for comments about why they're doing this. They all support, everybody supports the library, which is just fabulous. And the Webster's Group is sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union, and they are Gary Appleby, Jeff Disterhoff, and Dan Uphoff, and we wish them exceptionally well. Again, this their fourth year. Is it the fourth year or the third year? Okay, good. Number 10 is the Marsh Inc. is the name of their team, and they're being sponsored by Marsh Advantage America, which is one of our local corporations. And these are people that are not related to Marsh Advantage of America. And I was telling them that a good friend of mine runs Marsh Advantage America, and I'm very proud that they're a sponsor of this, and I'm sure that you'll make them proud. But two of the people in this group have been in the spelling bee before, and they read it in the newspaper, which is how they got here. Which, you know, you don't have to read it in the newspaper to get here. You can call the library at any time. And actually, I've been called at my place of business to ask how you get to be a spelling bee team, and you simply call the library and ask for the development office, and you'll be made into a team at any time. And I want to add that the sponsorship fee is not very large for the spelling bee, and they put your name down at the bottom of the screen every time your team comes up, and then they play it forever, and I mean forever. And Lynn Rowett came up to me and he said he saw a mutual friend of ours, Dick Tucker, on TV the other night, and he said, "Was that last year?" And I said, "No, I think that was about 1941." and his firm was actually the sponsor that year, and so it's the best advertising money you could ever do. So be a sponsor next year if you're a business person out there watching right now. So anyway, the Marsh Group is two recidivists and a new person who is married to somebody on the library staff, is that right? And is doing his marital duty tonight. And those people are, pardon me, I have two lists here, and there we are. They are Emily Bennett, Dan Daly, and Sally Ostegard. Is that right? Great. Okay. Team number 11 is Act Like Spellers. And they are a repeat team also, and they are sponsored by Pogo and Friends, which is an anonymous sponsor. You can do that too, sponsor anonymously. What they have in common is that they all work at ACT, and they've all gotten together, and they are Linda Leidiger, Pete Robinson, and Rick Williams, and we're hoping that they'll do well again, too. They're certainly used to this spelling bee, and so they know the ropes. Number 12 is two-time winner Kirkwood Killer Bees. And I asked how this happened, and they were letting me know that this was not exactly a volunteer activity from Kirkwood, that their dean says they've got to do it. They've got a team, and somebody's got to do it. And I think he or she points the finger at somebody from the library and somebody from the English department, and then there's somebody from the office who might actually work right under the dean who has to be here too. But we won't mention who's who because we don't want to get anybody in trouble with the dean. But their people are, and actually, as I say, they won twice and they're very competitive, are Betty Adams, is it Monty Hayes, and Missy Molliston, is that right? Very good. And so they'll be tough competitors. And our final team, team number 13, are the Keystone Kiwanians. And they've been here before also. They're all Kiwanis members. They're sponsored by Old Capital Kiwanis. And so they're looking forward to having another experience. They thought it was fun. And we'll see what that definition of fun is by the end of the evening. Okay. Now, we've got a few announcements to make before we start. We have to read some of the rules out here because this is really three separate things. There's round one, there are all the interim rounds, and then there are the final rounds. And Rule 5 deals with round ones, and this is Rule 5. And it is as follows. To help ensure that each member of each team has at least one chance to spell, The first round is considered to be a complete rotation of all 3 members of the competing teams. During this first round, a team can misspell one word and remain in competition until the team misses a second word. However, if a team misspells a second word during this first round, the team is eliminated, even if team member number 3 has not spelled. Okay? So everybody gets a chance to spell in this first round unless you misspell 2 words. Okay? Rule number 6. The pronouncer will pronounce the word, give the definition of the word, use it in a sentence, and pronounce it one more. Words used in Iowa City Spells will be selected from the 2004 edition of the Scripps Howard Padilla and from Webster's Third New International Dictionary. Rule 7. Team members may collaborate on the spelling of the word, but the designated speller must begin spelling within 20 seconds and completely spell the word within 60 seconds. All right? And Rule 7, that was Rule 7. Rule 8, team members may ask for one additional pronunciation of the word, but no more. So only one additional pronunciation. Okay. And we'll stop with the rules for now. We got a few more here, but we'll wait for those for later. And we'll start by calling up Team 1. Are we ready? Okay, the Logocephalics. Come on up. Sponsored by the Bookend Committee. Are we all ready?
Remind me the timing rule, Bill. The timing rule. How long they get to spell?
Oh, they have 20 seconds before they begin spelling and have no more than 60 seconds to spell it. The Logocephalics.
Reprieve. A formal suspension of the execution of a sentence, especially of death. Bowing to public pressure, the governor granted a reprieve to the convict awaiting execution. Reprieve.
Reprieve. R-E-P-R-I-E-V-E. Reprieve.
Correct.
Very good. Okay, Team 2, the headliners. The headliners are sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette. Now, the team 3 should be ready to come up.
Histology, a branch of anatomy that deals with the minute structure of animal and vegetable tissues as discernible with the microscope. The primary tissue categories in animal histology are epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous. Histology.
Histology. H-I-S-T-O-L-O-G-Y. Histology.
Correct.
Very good. Team 3, the West Bank Spellers. Team 3, the West Bank Spellers, are sponsored by West Bank of Iowa City.
Versicolor, having various hues, variegated. The woman in the long versicolor silk skirt turned out to be the hostess. Versicolor.
Versicolor. V-E-R-S-I-C-O-L-O-R. Versicolor.
Correct.
Very good. Phi Alpha Delta Pre-Law Fraternity, next. Sponsored by Knutson Construction Company.
Atrophy. Undergo a wasting away or progressive decline. Jay knows that his muscles will atrophy while he recuperates from surgery. Atrophy.
Atrophy. A-T-R-O-P-H-Y. Atrophy.
Correct.
Very good. The Savants. The Savants are sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Suspicion, mistrust, doubt. President Kennedy called for cooperation with our adversaries to push back the jungle of suspicion and allow the preservation of peace. Suspicion.
Suspicion. S-U-S-P-I-C-I-O-N. Suspicion.
Correct.
Very good. The West High Spellcasters, sponsored by Zap Learning Company. Come on up, West High.
Vernal. Of, relating to, or characteristic of the spring. Cherry trees produce some of the prettiest vernal blossoms. Vernal.
Vernal. V-E-R-N-A-L. Vernal.
Correct.
Very good. The Letterheads, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Altarpiece. A work of art to decorate the space above and behind the table-like construction used in the Christian church in celebrating the Lord's Supper. The tour guide spent 20 minutes discussing the details of the famous Ghent altarpiece by Jan van Eyck. Altarpiece.
Altarpiece. A-L-T-A-R-P-I-E-C-E. Altarpiece.
Correct.
Excellent. Spellbound, sponsored by Lensing Funeral and Cremation Services.
Chi-chi. Elaborately or conspicuously ornamented or ornamental, frilly, showy. The sales clerk showed Elizabeth a series of chi-chi wedding dresses dripping with beads and sequins. Chi-chi.
Chi-chi. C-H-I-C-H-I. Chi-chi.
Correct.
Very good. Webster's Collegiates, sponsored by the University of Iowa Credit Union, Community Credit Union.
Isoelectronic, having the same number of negatively charged constituent elementary particles used of atoms or their ions. Comparing the size of ions of elements in different groups on the periodic table is meaningful only if they are isoelectronic. Isoelectronic.
Isoelectronic, I-S-O-E-L-E-C-T-R-O-N-I-C. Isoelectronic.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. Marsh Inc., sponsored by Marsh Advantage America.
Unurbane, not notably polite or finished in manner. Rustic, vulgar. Donald's unurbane table manners disgusted those sitting near him. Unurbane.
Unurbane. U-N-U-R-B-A-N-E. Unurbane.
Correct.
Very good. I thought we were going to throw out that clue about me. Act Like Spellers, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Decrepitude, a state of decay, ruin, or dilapidation. Far from falling into decrepitude, the town was busy restoring its public buildings. Decrepitude.
Decrepitude. D-E-C-R-E-P-I-T. Decrepitude. Decrepitude. Decrepitude.
Correct.
That was good. Very good. Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Tapestried, covered or decorated with or as if with a heavy hand-woven textile characterized by complicated pictorial designs. The tapestried chair backs looked as though they had seen better days. Tapestried.
Tapestried. Tapestried. Tapestried.
Correct.
Very good. And finally, the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Old Capital Kiwanis.
Subservience, excessive willingness to submit to the control or demands of another. The columnist chided the congressmen for their subservience to wealthy and well-organized lobbies. Subservience.
Subservience. S-U-B-S-I. No. S-U-B-S-E-R-V-I-E-N-C-E. Subservience.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. Whoops. Well, the first of the first round of round out run is over, and you can cut the tension like the knife already. So we need to. It's tough, isn't it? We need to ease that tension a little bit with Maureen Delaney and an audience participation word. So, Maureen, if you would give us one of these.
Luss, a deposit of fertile, yellowish-brown, wind-blown dust. We visited the Luss Hills last weekend. Luss.
Ooh, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Now, does everybody have something to write with and something to write on? Does anybody need anything to write? You all have it? Okay. Barbara will help you. Okay, round 2 of round 1. How's that? Are we ready? Let's have the logo cephalics up here sponsored by the Bookend Committee. Are you ready, Jody?
I am.
Very good. Now, it has to be a different speller.
Right.
You understand?
You. Come up here. No.
Different one of you.
Stand in front of it and then.
All right.
Deterrent, something that discourages or prevents from acting by fear or consideration of unpleasant attendant consequences. The police hoped that Ted's severe jail sentence would serve as a deterrent to criminal activity by the other gang members. A gang member named Ted? Deterrent.
That's what it was.
Okay.
D-E-T-E-R-R-E-N-T, deterrent.
Correct.
Very good. Ted wasn't actually his gang name, Jody. The headliners, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
Subjugate, bring under the yoke of power or dominion. Love is a destructive force when used as a tool with which individuals subjugate others. Subjugate.
Subjugate. S-U-B-J-U-G-A-T-E. Subjugate.
Correct.
Like those winks. Very good. Okay, the West Bank Spellers, sponsored by the West Bank. West Bank.
Geochrony, a system of time divisions used in geology. In geochrony, time is divided into eras, periods, and epochs. Geochrony.
Geochrony. Geocrany. Geochrony.
That is incorrect. It is. Shall I give the spelling now, Bill?
Yes,
okay. Geochrony.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right. The team still has another chance to misspell a word without being kicked out. That's all right. Okay. Phi Alpha Delta Pre-Law Fraternity, sponsored by Knutson Construction.
Aggressor, one that commits or practices an offensive action or procedure, especially a nation that commits an unprovoked, overt, hostile attack. America is fortunate to be bordered by no nation that desires to be an aggressor. Aggressor.
Aggressor. AGGRESSOR. Aggressor.
Correct.
Very good. Okay, the Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Triceratops, any animal or fossil of the huge herbivorous dinosaurs having a skull with two large horns above the eyes, a median horn on the nose, and a great bony hood or transverse crest over the neck. Of all Angela's stuffed dinosaurs, the Triceratops is her favorite. Triceratops.
Triceratops. Triceratops. Triceratops.
Correct.
Very good. The Letterheads, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees. I might add that Ted, our judge today, was in the documentary film Spellbound, if you've ever seen that. Is that available at the library to check out?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We're off sequence here because this is West High.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I'm sorry I announced it wrong. Ted, you were supposed to get that. The West High Spellcaster is sponsored by Zap Learning.
Modicum, a small portion, a limited quantity or amount. Bernie displayed not even a modicum of modesty as he bragged about his hole-in-one. Modicum.
Modicum. MODICUM. Modicum.
Correct.
Okay, now we can have the letterheads.
Scrupulously, conscientiously, painstakingly. Katie washes her hands so scrupulously that her friends wonder if she has a psychological disorder. Scrupulously.
Scrupulously. SCRUPOUSLY. Scrupulous. No, excuse me. Let me start that over again. Lost myself. Scrupulously. SCRUPULOUSLY. Scrupulously.
Correct.
Very good. Hey, Webster's Collegiates, sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
No. We're 8. Are we next? We're 8.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm doing this
Spellbound.
wrong here, aren't we? You are 8. Spellbound. Sorry, sponsored.
We are next, aren't we?
Spellbound, sponsored by the Lensing Funeral and Cremation Services. I think that's what they ought to do with me right now. Sorry, thanks.
Frou-frou, abundant or excessive ornamentation in women's clothing. The slippers covered with frou-frou had to be for looks only. Frou-frou.
Frou-frou. F-R-O-U. Frou-frou.
Correct.
After Chi-Chi.
Okay, Shishi and Frou-frou. What's with the Shishi and Frou-frou over here? And we call them spellbound. Okay, Webster's Collegians. Sorry, your turn. Yeah. Jody, cut with the weird words for them, okay? Cut with the weird words for them.
Cyclops. One of a race of giants in Greek mythology with a single eye in the middle of the forehead. Kirk found a mask that would help make him a perfect Cyclops at the masquerade party. Cyclops.
Cyclops. C-Y-C-L-O-P-S. Cyclops.
Correct.
Very good. Okay. Marsh Inc., sponsored by Marsh Advantage America.
Accomplice, one that participates with another in a crime, either as principal or accessory. The juvenile was convicted as an accomplice in the robbery. Accomplice.
Accomplice. A-C-C-O-M-P-L-I-C-E. Accomplice.
Correct.
Very good. Act Like Spellers, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Bolivar, the basic monetary unit of Venezuela. Drew recently added a drachma, a ruble, and a bolivar to his currency collection. Bolivar.
Bolivar. B-O-L-I-V-A-R. Bolivar.
Correct.
Very good. Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Mummery, a performance given by actors in a pantomime. Costumed actors performed a comic mummery in the school auditorium. Mummery.
Mummery. M-U-M-M-E-R-Y. Mummery.
Correct.
Very good. And the Keystone Kiwanians. Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by Old Capital Kiwanis. To complete this round.
Ubiquitous, existing or being everywhere at the same time. The drum is an instrument ubiquitous in world music. Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous. U-B-I-Q-U-I-T-O-U-S. Ubiquitous.
Correct.
Very good. We've now completed the second of the three first round rounds, and Maureen will give us another audience participation words. Now, the audience, you're supposed to write this down on your form, and we will tally it after 10 words, and then we'll announce the winner. So make sure you're writing these words down. Does anybody need the first word again? Oh, John Wirtz back there needs the first word again. Can you just repeat it, Maureen, please?
Luss.
And
we visited the Luss Hills last weekend.
Okay, good. All right, good. All right. So this next word.
Assuage. To mitigate, ease, or lessen. She decided to send flowers to assuage her guilt.
Okay.
Assuage.
Maureen's a whole lot nicer than the woman we usually have here on the other, don't you think? Yeah. Usually the audience participation words make you people feel so satisfied in the words that you get. So, all right, are we ready for the third round? Everybody ready? Yeah. The logo is cephalic, sorry. Sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
Lackadaisical, lacking life, spirit, or zest, devoid of energy or purpose. John's piano teacher criticized him for his lackadaisical performance in the recital. Lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical. Lackadaisical. Lackadaisical.
Correct.
Wow, very good. So hard when you can't write them down. The headliners, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
Suffrage, the right or power to participate in electing public officials and adopting or rejecting legislation in a representative form of government. The 19th Amendment to the Constitution gives women suffrage. Suffrage.
Suffrage. Suffrage. Suffrage.
Correct.
Very good. The West Bank Spellers, sponsored by West Bank.
Roulette, a gambling game in which players bet on which compartment of a revolving wheel a small ball spun in the opposite direction will come to rest in. I'm not making this up. Bonita spent the entire time on the riverboat playing roulette.
Roulette. Roulette. Roulette.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. They're relieved. Phi Alpha Delta Pre-Law Fraternity, sponsored by Knutson Construction Services.
Precipice, a very steep perpendicular or overhanging place. Just looking down from the precipice made Gloria dizzy. Precipice.
Precipice, Precipice. Precipice.
Correct.
Excellent. The Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Speleology, the scientific study or systematic exploration of caves. Dale's research in speleology takes him to spectacular natural features around the world. Speleology.
Yeah, the pronunciation.
Speleology.
Speleology. Speleology. Speleology.
Correct.
Wow. Wow, that's impressive. The West High Spellcasters, next, sponsored by Zap Learning Company.
Obratund, nearly spherical but with one diameter slightly exceeding the others. The Obratund object in the museum case was an old torpedo. Obratund.
Obratund. O-B-R-A-T-U-N-D. Obratund.
That is incorrect. O-B-R-O-T-U-N-D.
That's quite all right. They're still in. That's good. Okay. The Letterhead, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Contiguous, touching or connected throughout. Mr. Wallace understands but resents higher shipping costs for U.S. customers living in states outside the contiguous 48. Contiguous.
Contiguous, C-O-N-T-I-G-U-O-U-S, contiguous.
Correct.
Very good. Okay, we're ready for Spellbound. Let's see what word you get this time. Spellbound is sponsored by Lensing Funeral and Cremation Services.
Logistician. A specialist in military science in its planning and handling and implementation of personnel, material, facilities, and other related factors. The logistician made great use of computers in planning the distribution of supplies to the armed forces. Logistician. No, let me have a second go at that. Logistician. I apologize. Logistician.
Logistician, L-O-G-I-S-T-I-C-I-A-N, logistician.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. Webster's Collegiate, sponsored by the Iowa City Community Credit Union.
Lassitude, a condition of weariness or debility, fatigue. Lassitude is a symptom of many tropical diseases. Lassitude.
Lassitude, L-A-S-S-I-T-U-D-E, lassitude.
Correct.
Very good. Marsh Inc., sponsored by Marsh Advantage America.
Manx, of, relating to, or characteristic of the people of the Isle of Man. The Manx language is still spoken on the Isle of Man, though its official language is English. Manx.
Is it important to capitalize or not?
I don't know.
It sounds like a capital, but does it matter?
Can I answer that? I don't know.
Our judge can answer that. Is it capitalization making a difference?
Okay. Okay. M-A-N-X. Oh, Manx. M-A-N-X, Manx.
Correct.
Very good. Thank you. Good job. Act Like Spellers, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Propinquity, nearness in place, proximity. The roots of the trees in close propinquity to the new sidewalk will soon ruin it. Propinquity.
Propinquity, P-R-O-P-I-N-Q-U-I-T-Y, propinquity.
Correct.
Scary how fast he did that. Very good. That's Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Wheaten, the color of wheat, specifically a pale yellow or fawn characteristic of certain breeds of dogs. Wheaton, the color of Missy's soft-coated terrier, sharply contrasts with that of her boyfriend's black Scottish terrier. Wheaton.
Wheaton. W-H-E-A-T-E-N. Wheaton.
Correct.
Very good. And finally, the Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by the Old Capitol Kiwanis.
Norns, goddesses presiding over personal destiny. Occasional, Roberta goes out and buys something she cannot afford as a gesture of defiance of the Norns. Norns.
Norns. N-O-U-R-N-E-S. Norns.
That is incorrect. N-O-R-N-S.
Well, that's amazing. I wouldn't have gotten that either, but thank goodness for people like Roberta, because they keep people like me in business. That is the that is the end of the round of the first round, where everybody's had a chance to spell. And out of 39 words, only 3 were misspelled, and that is remarkable. So everybody should congratulate themselves at this point. We should relax with another audience word from Maureen Delaney, and take a deep breath, because we begin the kind of the real rounds now here, where it gets a little cutthroat. And so let's have another word, Maureen.
Androgynous, having the characteristics of both sexes. Some people believe a great mind must be androgynous. Androgynous.
Excuse me, what number is this on the card?
That's number 3 so far. Yeah. Does that mean you can be she and frou at the same time? Yeah. All right. Okay. So now the rules change a little bit. We've been through round 1, and everybody's had a chance. Everybody has had a chance to make 2 mistakes. No single team made 2 mistakes, which is impressive, and very few made 1. Now, 1 mistake and you're out. So this is where it gets very serious. This is where you really consult with each other, and it doesn't matter who spells, just as long as you spell the word right. Okay? Not to put any pressure on you. This is now called round 2. And but the rules are the same, other than the fact that you're the 1 strike and you're out here. So let's start again with logocephalics. You ready? Sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
Pre-emergent, used or occurring before seedlings come forth or rise into view above ground. Dramatic success in weed control has been achieved with pre-emergent herbicides. Pre-emergent.
Pre-emergent. P-R-E-M-E-R-G-E-N-T. Pre-emergent.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. The Headliners, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
Just a clarification, the teams still have to rotate their spellers as they continue. It can't be the same speller each time as the rounds keep
No,
going.
not at this point. It can be. It can be any speller. Are you telling me differently?
It's still, like, in this round it's 1, and the next round it has to be somebody different. It's still
For this?
is
Is
a
that
different.
right?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
We're
thank you.
judges and we know.
Dan? Sorry, Shaner.
Controversy.
What do I know?
That's right. Write about it in the Gazette tomorrow.
Yeah.
Put us in the
yeah.
Gazette.
Right, Shaner. That's why we have a judge here. Excuse me.
Narcissus. Any plant of the genus Narcissus of which the flowers have a short corona and are usually borne separately. The common daffodil is a type of Narcissus.
Narcissus. N-A-R-C-I-S-S-U-S. Narcissus.
Correct.
Very good. The West Bank Spellers from West Bank.
Euphonious, pleasing in sound. Allison is noted for her euphonious voice and clear enunciation. Euphonious.
Pronunciation one more time, please.
Euphonious.
Need to start spelling.
Okay. Euphonious. EUPHONIOUS. Euphonious.
Correct.
Very good. Now the Phi Alpha Delta Pre-Law Fraternity, sponsored by Knutson Construction.
Acolyte, one who attends or assists, follower. Not one acolyte remained after the cult leaders' fall from grace. Acolyte.
Acolyte. ACOLYTE. Acolyte.
Correct.
Oh, very good. Very good. And now the Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services. I'll tell you, I would have been out of this game a long time ago.
Susceptible, easily influenced or affected through some trait. People who smoke are very susceptible to chronic bronchitis and emphysema. Susceptible.
Susceptible, S-U-S, start again. Susceptible, S-U-S-C-E-P-T-I-B-L-E, susceptible.
Correct.
Very good. And the West High Spellcasters, sponsored by Zap Learning Company.
Nickelodeon, a theater affording a motion picture exhibition or a variety show for an admission price of 5 cents. The silent movies at the Nickelodeon were usually enhanced by piano music. Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. N-I-C-K-E-L-O-D-E-O-N. Nickelodeon.
Correct.
Of course, they wouldn't know it from the bar of that name because they're under or 18 or under here. Next, we have the Letterheads, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Conciliate, win over from a state of hostility or distrust. Appease. The new king will conciliate his subjects by doing them all the good in his power. Conciliate.
Conciliate. C-O-N-C-I-L-I-A-T-E. Conciliate.
Correct.
Very good. Alarming quickness. Spellbound, sponsored by Lensing Funeral and Cremation Services.
Fealty, faithfulness, allegiance. One by one the nobles knelt before the queen and swore fealty to the crown. Fealty.
Fealty. F-E-A-L-T-Y. Fealty.
Correct.
Very good. Good job. And Webster's Collegiate, sponsored by the University of Iowa Credit Union.
Adonize, Adonize, beautify, usually used of a man. Grandpa thought he would adonize himself if he covered up the gray in his hair. Adonize.
Adonize, A-D-O-N-I-Z-E, Adonize.
Correct.
Very good. We call that metrosexualize for about 5 more minutes. Marsh Inc., sponsored by Marsh Advantage America.
Irreligious, lacking emotions, doctrines, or practices that show reverence for a god or a supreme being. Ungodly. Trafker prayed every night that his irreligious relatives would eventually see the light. Irreligious.
Irreligious. IRRELIGIOUS. Irreligious.
Correct.
Act Like Spellers, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Malleate. Beat or mark or dent with a hammer in working or decorating. Daniel will malleate the surface of the metal box he is making in shop class. Malleate.
Malleate. M-A-L-L-E-A-T-E. Malleate.
Correct.
Very good. The Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Purloin. Appropriate wrongfully and often under circumstances that involve a breach of trust. Employees who purloin company earnings will be fired and given no severance pay. Purloin.
Purloin. P-U-R-L-O-I-N. Purloin.
Correct.
Very good. And finally, the Keystone Kiwanian, sponsored by Old Capital Kiwanis.
Conquistador, conqueror, specifically any one of the leaders in the Spanish conquest of America, especially of Mexico and Peru in the 16th century. Mr. Sanchez found the helmet of a conquistador deep in the canyon. Conquistador.
Conquistador, C-O-N-Q-U-I-S-T-A-D-O-R, conquistador.
Correct.
Very good. So here we are at the end of round 2, and we're ready, Maureen, for another audience participation word.
You bet. This is the 4th word. Chatelaine, the mistress of a large house. The baron's wife served as chatelaine of his castle while he was at the crusade. Chatelaine.
Ooh, they're very good. Now we're...
Jocund, feeling or exhibiting mirth or good cheer, cheerful. The jocund host made everyone feel completely at ease. Jocund.
Juncund, J-O-C-U-N-D, Juncund.
Correct.
Excellent. Very good. Now for the headliners from the Iowa City Gazette.
Quesadilla, a turnover made usually with a cheese filling. Joyce usually eats a quesadilla as an afternoon snack.
Quesadilla. Q-U-E. S-A-D-I-L-L-A. Quesadilla.
Correct.
Very good. And now the West Bank spellers from West Bank.
Tyrannical, exhibiting imperious and usually oppressive exercise of absolute power, despotic. Patrick Henry spoke fervently about the urgent need to arrest the tyrannical hands of the British ministry and Parliament. Tyrannical.
Tyrannical. T-Y-R-A-N-N-I-C-A-L. Tyrannical.
Correct.
Very good. Now, I should probably note that those girls had to tell Lynn how to spell it because they write it about him in memos all the time. Next to the Phi Alpha Delta Pre-Law Fraternity, sponsored by Knutson Construction.
Eugenics, a science that deals with the improvement of hereditary qualities in a series of generations of a race or breed. Using eugenics to create a super race of human beings is a common theme in science fiction. Eugenics.
Eugenics. E-U-G-E-N-I-C-S. Eugenics.
Correct.
Very good. And next are the Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Contemporaneous, existing or occurring during the same time. Cartoon depictions notwithstanding, dinosaurs and humans were never contemporaneous. Contemporaneous.
Contemporaneous. C-O-N-T-E-M-P-O-R-A-N-E-O-U-S. Contemporaneous.
Correct.
Very good. And the West High Spellcasters, sponsored by Zap Learning Company.
Innocuous, not likely to arouse ill will or give offense. Inoffensive. Betty was dismayed when Henry interpreted her innocuous remark as an insult. Innocuous.
Innocuous. I-N-O-C-U-O-U-S. Innocuous.
That is incorrect. I-N-N-O-C-U-O-U-S.
Oh, Trojans. Nice job. Nice job. Takes a lot of guts for high school people to get up here and do that, and we appreciate it. Good job. Okay, these are the letterheads sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Magus, magician. The Magus practiced his shape-changing spells on his apprentice. Magus.
Magus. M-A-G-U-S. Magus.
Correct.
Very good. I think we're going to speed up the audience participation words a little bit. So, Maureen, you want to give us another one?
Yep.
Before we switch sides here.
Phrasy. Abounding in phrases, characterized by great use of phrases. The author's writings tended to be quite phrasy. Phrasy.
Okay. Now we continue with Spellbound, sponsored by the Lensing Funeral and Cremation Services.
Appellate. Having the power to review and affirm, reverse, or modify the judgment or decision of another tribunal. The appellate court decided to reverse the lower court's verdict. Appellate.
Appellate. APPELLATE. Appellate.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. Webster's Collegiates from the University of Iowa Credit Union.
Paucity, a small number. Fewness, the choir suffered from a paucity of male voices. Paucity.
Paucity. P-A-U-C-I-T-Y. Paucity.
Correct.
Very good. Good job. Next up is Marsh Inc. from Marsh Advantage America.
Jerkin, a close-fitting hip-length jacket. As his quest led him northward, the knight began wearing a jerkin for additional warmth. Jerkin.
Jerkin. J-E-R-K-I-N. Jerkin.
Correct.
Wow. That's good. That's really good. Okay, Act Like Spellers, sponsored by Pogo and Friends.
Charismatic, of or relating to the religious movement that emphasizes the extraordinary power given a Christian by the Holy Spirit. The charismatic movement in American religion began in the early 1960s when a California minister announced to his congregation that he had been given the gift of tongues. Charismatic.
Charismatic. C-H-A-R-I-S. M-A-T-I-C. Charismatic.
Correct.
Susan, did they even get to their 20 seconds? Never. Next is Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College. Go Bees.
Trifecta, a betting pool in which the bettor must pick the first, second, or third finishers in a specified race or contest in the correct order. Grandmother liked to bet the trifecta on her weekly visit to the racetrack. Trifecta.
Trifecta. T-R-I-F-E-C-T-A. Trifecta.
Correct.
Okay, what's going on with this family? Grandma's a gambler, Grandpa's a metrosexual, and Ted's in a gang
member.
We've got the Keystone Kiwanians, Old Capital Kiwanis sponsors.
Prestissimo, at a very rapid tempo, used as a direction in music. Some of the cellos were lagging in the passage that was supposed to be played prestissimo. Prestissimo.
Prestissimo. P-R-E-S. P-R-E-S-S. No, I'm sorry. P-R-E-S-T-I-M-I-S-S-O. Wait a minute. P-R-E-S-S. Wait. P-R-E-S-T-I-M. No. T-I-S-S-I-M-O. Prestissimo.
Could you spell it for me one more time?
Okay. I think I can.
Okay.
Prestissimo. P-R-E-S-T-I-S-S-I-M-O. Prestissimo.
Correct.
Whoa. Okay, let me wipe myself off here. Yeah.
Not to be too hard-nosed about it, but audience members shouldn't be shaking their heads or nodding or anything like that as the spelling's going on.
So cut it out, you guys. All right. Now audience members actually can do this. They can do another word from the gifted Maureen Delaney.
Well, hemorrhage.
Oh.
Any discharge of blood from the blood vessels. The cerebral hemorrhage incapacitated the man's speech centers. Hemorrhage.
Well, that was pretty gross, Maureen. Thanks.
Anytime.
Okay, are we ready for round 4? Now, that was pretty good. That was pretty outstanding. We're moving along here. So, the Logocephalics. You ready to come on up? Sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
Epidemiology, a science that deals with the incidence, distribution, and control of disease in a population. Sean's knowledge about polio and the history of the Salk vaccine reflects his strong interest in epidemiology. Epidemiology.
Epidemiology. Epidemiology. Epidemiology.
Correct.
Very good. Okay. The Headliners, sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette.
Superannuated, rated no longer fully or passably efficient in one's job because of age, incapacitated or disqualified for active duty by advanced age. The superannuated executive was deemed ill-suited for the company's youthful and energetic environment. Superannuated.
Superannuated. Superannuated. Superannuated.
Correct.
Very good. The West Bank Spellers, sponsored by West Bank. With at least one fan out here in the audience. Yeah. Several fans.
Perlingual, through or by way of the tongue. Patients in the perlingual treatment group had results comparable to those who received the medication intravenously. Perlingual.
Perlingual. P-E-R, I'm sorry, we decided to go with you. P-U-R-L-I-N-G-U-A-L. Perlingual.
That is incorrect.
Is it E?
P-E-R.
Nice job, West Bank. Nice job. Very good. Very good. Thank you, new sponsors, and we hope you come back. And now, and I won't say any more mean things next year, Lynn. I promise. They probably won't invite me back either. We of course have the Phi Alpha Delta Pre-Law Fraternity Spellers, sponsored by Knutson Construction here. Easy for me to say.
Chlorosis, a diseased condition in chlorophyll-bearing plants. The philodendron in Kathy's kitchen exhibits an advanced stage of chlorosis. Chlorosis. Chlorosis.
You need to start spelling. Okay. Chlorosis. CHLOROSSIS. Chlorosis?
That is incorrect. CHLOROSIS.
Oh, nice job. Nice job. Very respectable showing. Next, we have the Savants, sponsored by McGrath Financial Services.
Armistice. Temporary suspension of hostilities as agreed upon by those engaged in the hostilities. Fortunately, the armistice that ended World War I turned out to be permanent. Armistice.
Armistice. ARMISTICE. Armistice.
Correct.
Very good. Next, we have the letterheads, sponsored by the Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees.
Cordovan. A variable color averaging a dark grayish red. The cordovan of Kathy's purse does not match the cordovan of her penny loafers.
Oh.
Cordovan.
Yeah.
Cordovan. CORDOVAN. Cordovan.
Correct.
Very good. Okay, Spellbound, sponsored by the Lansing Funeral and Cremation Services.
Seapoos. A shallow inlet or tidal stream along the Long Island shore. Dirk floated a toy boat in the Seapoos.
I think they were supposed to get Cordovan.
Can you say it one more time?
Seapoos.
Seapoos? Oh, you can't say it one more time? Oh, shit.
You need to start spelling it.
Okay, Seapoos. SEAPOUSSE.
That is
That's okay. I was
incorrect.
Saying, okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
SEAPOOSE.
That was close. That was really good. Nice job. Nice job. Very good. Okay, we're going to... Wait, hold on a second, you guys. I think we better take another audience word while we can here. Okay. Go ahead, Maureen.
Okay. Meiosis, a process of division of diploid cell nuclei whereby the number of chromosomes is halved to be combined with another half set at fertilization. Meiosis is often confused with mitosis. Meiosis.
Okay. Not to be confused with mitosis. All right. So are we ready for Webster's Collegiates? Sponsored by the University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Teratology, the study of malformations, monstrosities, or serious deviations from the normal type in growing organisms. Because of his several deformities, the so-called elephant man is often featured in textbooks for courses in teratology. Teratology.
Teratology. Teratology. Teratology.
Correct.
Wow. That's really good. All right, impressive. Next is Marsh Inc., the Marsh Advantage America.
Cinematheque, a small movie theater specializing in avant-garde films. The local Cinematheque was showing a new French film last week. Cinematheque.
You need to start spelling.
Cinematheque. Is that how you, can you pronounce it again, please?
Cinematheque.
Cinematheque. Cinematheque. Cinematheque.
Correct.
All right.
Wow. Very good. Nice. All right. The next is Act Like Spellers, Pogo and Friends, sponsors.
Blithesome, lively in voice, manner, or appearance. Cheery, merry. The blithesome lottery winner gushed that she had just booked a Caribbean cruise. Blithesome.
Blithesome. B-L-Y-T-H-E. Blithesome. B-L-Y. Blithesome. B-L-I-T-H-S-O-M-E. Blithesome.
Could I ask you to spell it one more time?
B-L-I-T-H-S-O-M-E. Blithesome.
That is incorrect. B-L-I-T-H-E-S-O-M-E.
Sorry, Act Like Spellers. Nice job. Nice job. Now, I think we need to make another rule clarification that team members can't interact with the speller after the speller has begun spelling the word, too. So as much as you want to, you can't be prompting your speller. So come on up, Kirkwood Killer Bees, and give it your best stuff. Kirkwood Bees sponsor is Kirkwood Community College.
Habiliments, clothing suited to or characteristic of a calling, occupation, or profession. Garb, costume. Bert dressed for the rodeo in the habiliments of a cowboy. Habiliments.
Habiliments. H-A-B-I-L-I-M-E-N-T-S. Habiliments.
Correct.
Wow, the confidence. That was good. Way to go. All right, and finally, Keystone Kiwanians, sponsored by Old Capital Kiwanis.
Commensal, of or relating to those who habitually eat together. Having pizza on Friday night is a commensal tradition among Carrie and her friends. Commensal.
Commensal. C-O-M-M-E-N-S-U-A-L. Commensal.
Incorrect. C-O-M-M-E-N-S-A-L. Commensal.
All right, we're at the end of our round 4. We eliminated 5 in that round. That's a difficult round. How can you make us feel better, Maureen?
Okie dokie. Plebiscite, a vote or decree of the people. The residents of University Heights held a plebiscite to determine whether they would become part of Iowa City. Plebiscite.
And guess how that vote came out. All right. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams left. Are we ready for round 5? Okay, let's go. The logocephalics are up first. Sponsored by the Bookend Committee.
Quondam, having been formerly. Jared and his quondam stepbrother are still the best of friends. Quondam.
We need to start spelling. Okay.
You have to go.
Yes, quondam. Q-U-A. Sorry. Q-U-O-N-D-O-M. Quondam.
That is incorrect. Q-U-O-N-D-A-M.
Oh, that's too bad. Now, once again, you cannot express your deepest inner feelings about your team members' progress while they're spelling.
Bill, do you want to get on people's cases again about the reactions as people are spelling?
You mean in the audience too? We all have to be as neutral as we can while people are spelling, because this is the part where it all, we're all very nervous about it.
Here.
Yeah, we're down to where it gets. And
Maeve will hit you with one of those things.
We forgot about secret weapon Maeve over here, so you don't want to know about that. So don't find out. And even I, who am a speller, have tried to not do that. So.
Don't listen to Bill, whatever you do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right. I get it all wrong. So anyway, nice work, logocephalics. And now we have up here the headliners, who are quite excellent always, and they're sponsored by the Iowa City Gazette. Good luck.
Gymkhana, a horseback riding meet featuring games and novelty contests. Clem practiced daily with his horse so that he could enter several events in the upcoming Gymkhana. Gymkhana.
They promise we're going down together. Gymkhana. G-Y-M-C-A-N-A. Gymkhana.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
G-Y-M-K-H-A-N-A.
What a hard word. Way to go, headliners. Way to go, headliners. Now, actually, I thought they would know this because wasn't this guy a friend of Frank Sinatra's and Sam Gymkhana? And here we have the savants, McGrath Financial Services.
Gardrobe, a wardrobe or its contents. The seamstress hung the completed gown in the gardrobe. Gardrobe.
Gardrobe. Garderobe. Gardrobe.
Correct.
Wow. Impressive. Okay. The letterheads, Iowa City Public Library Board of Trustees sponsors.
Legionnaire, a member of a National Association of Military Veterans. A Legionnaire was asked to deliver a short speech at the Memorial Day ceremonies. Legionnaire.
Legionnaire. Legionnaire. Legionnaire.
That is incorrect. Legionnaire.
Congratulations. Nice job, letterheads. Very good work. Our next group is Webster's Collegiates. But first, I guess we should have before. I'm sorry. Want to just hold it on the edge there. Yeah. We need another audience word, Maureen. One more audience word.
Okie dokie.
Pardon me?
No, that's not the word.
I was going to say, finally, one I can spell.
He got awfully excited
Sort
there.
of like frou-frou, you know?
Epern, a centerpiece, especially in branched form, holding flowers or fruit. The ugly Epern held a lovely spring bouquet. Epern.
Do you sell a
Hey, we sell Eperns, and they're not ugly.
Never even heard of it.
Linda Wirtz and I think Eperns are nice. Yeah.
They're quite inexpensive, too, aren't they?
Yeah, no, not true. Okay, we've got Webster's Collegiates up here from the Iowa City University of Iowa Community Credit Union.
Promethean, daringly original. Darrell's success as an inventor is largely the result of his Promethean approach to problem solving. Promethean.
Promethean. Promethean. Promethean.
Correct.
Very good. Very good. Good job. Now we've got Marsh Inc., sponsored by Marsh Advantage America.
Cedilla, a mark placed under a letter to indicate a sound different from that which the unmodified character bears in certain situations. Martha did not earn a perfect score on her French paper because she forgot the cedilla in the word garçon. Cedilla.
Cedilla. Cedilla. Cedilla.
Correct.
Wow. You pulled that one out. That was good. Excellent. And finally, Kirkwood Killer Bees, sponsored by Kirkwood Community College.
Immiscible, not capable of mixing or being mixed. Oil and water are immiscible. Immiscible.
Immiscible. IMMISCIBLE. Immiscible.
Correct.
Wow. Woo. Way to go. I love that one. That's good. Okay. We're going to do the last audience participation word now, and then I'm going to have you how should we do it? Hand them all over to this side of the room, and they'll be picked up by either Barbara or Gail, and that word will be, Maureen Delaney.
Connoisseur. Someone aesthetically versed in any subject. After taking the wine tasting course, Bob considered himself a connoisseur. Connoisseur.
They only have 20 seconds.
Yeah, 20 seconds, right.
I got a good
Susan's
timer.
timing you. Now, I have a question for those of you out in the audience who are doing this, right, who are spelling along with the spellers up here. Has anybody done it without missing anything yet? Anybody not miss it? I am so relieved. And so is everybody else here. All right, we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4 teams, which gets really sticky now. We have the Savants, we have Webster's Collegiates, we have Marsh Inc. and Kirkwood Killer Bees. So would the Savants please get up here, and Duke, you want to bring your team up here and start round number 6.
Atrament, a very dark substance usually used of liquids. The puff of atrament hid the octopus from a nearby predator. Atrament.
Atrament. A-T-T-R-I-M-E-N-T. Atrament.
That is incorrect. A-T-R-A-M-E-N-T.
Oh. Thank you, Savants. The McGrath Financial Services and Duke McGrath have been such a long-time supporter of the spelling bee, and they've done a tremendous job. Next, we have Webster's Collegiates, who don't seem to need any time to think about whatever it is they're spelling.
Stridulated. Made...
Except for this one.
Made a shrill, often vibrating noise. The locusts stridulated so loudly that the campers could hardly hear each other without raising their voices. Stridulated.
Stridulated. S-T-R-I-G-I-L-L-A-T-E-D. Stridulated.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
S-T-R-I-D-U-L-A-T-E-D.
Valiant effort. Excellent. Webster's Collegiates, another sponsored by University of Iowa Credit Union, another long-time participant in the spelling bee and sponsor of the spelling bee. That was a valiant effort, and I don't know whether you heard this or whether the audience on television could hear this, but there was demonic laughter coming out of the audience on that word. That was a really hard word. Okay, now actually before we even start here, we're down to 2 teams. So the rules change here, and I have to read some rules. And we're now at the very last part, and this is where the spelling bee gets really kind of interesting. So let me see if I can find my rules. Okay, when the teams are reduced to 2, the elimination procedure changes. And this is important to listen to this, because this is very to both you teams participating. When a team misspells a word, the other team shall be given an opportunity to spell that same word. If the second team spells that word correctly, plus the next word on the pronouncer's list, that team shall be declared the winner. If one of the last 2 teams misses and the other team, after correcting the error, misspells the new word, then the misspelled new word shall be referred to the first team. If that team succeeds in correcting the error and then correctly spells the next word on the pronouncer's list, that team shall be declared the winner. If both teams misspell the word, Both shall continue the contest, and the team that first misspelled the word shall be given a new word to spell. The competition shall continue as in the two versions above. So essentially, once you spell correctly twice, you've won. So is that clear? Come on up. And you stand behind me here, and you're just going to keep on your sides of the rooms. You're going to go over there when you're done. No fights, okay? No. And, so, Jody, are we ready?
We are. Okay,
so this is the elimination round. Very, very exciting. Let's start with Marsh Inc., sponsored by Marsh Advantage America.
Quirt, a riding whip with a short handle and a rawhide lash. Eager to get home, Juanita urged her horse on by using the quirt. Quirt.
Quirt. Q-U-I-R-T. Quirt.
Correct.
Okay. Your word, Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Vitreous, of, relating to, derived from, or consisting of glass. The huge vitreous wall of skyscrapers reflected the mountains and the sunset. Vitreous.
Vitreous. V-I-T-R-E-O-U-S. Vitreous.
Correct. Very good. Okay. Marsh Inc.'s word.
Acquiesced, accepted or complied tacitly or passively. Until recently, Scott acquiesced in most situations involving conflict. Acquiesced.
Acquiesced. A-C-Q-U-I-E-S-C-E-D. Acquiesced.
Correct.
Okay. Kirkwood Killer Bees.
Ephemerally, in a temporary manner. When she was a teenager, Valerie tried every ephemerally popular hairstyle that came along. Ephemerally.
Ephemerally. E-P-H-E-M-E-R-A-L-L-Y. Ephemerally.
Correct.
Go ahead, Marsh Inc.
Plenilune, the time of full moon, also a full moon. Zeke will begin planting after the plenilune. Plenilune.
Plenilune. P-L-E-I-N-A-L-U-N-E. Plenilune.
That is incorrect.
Okay, Kirkwood.
Plenilune. P-L-E-N-I-L-U-N-E. Plenilune.
Correct.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Kirkwood gets a new word.
Ostman. Scandinavians anciently settled along the east coast of Ireland. The trading posts settled by the Ostmen in the 9th century AD later grew into cities such as Dublin and Cork. Ostman.
Ostman. O-S-T-M-E-N. Ostman.
Correct.
Oh. Congratulations. Congratulations, Kirkwood Killer Bees. This, by the way, is their third win. So this is spectacular. And we also have to congratulate Marsh Inc. That was a very, very exciting. And my friend Scott Fisher, who's the head of Marsh Advantage America, I'm going to call him when I get home, and I'm going to report the good work. We also have, so your name is going to be on the trophy again, and you'll be happy. And we have an audience, we have a winner from the audience participation words, and it's Ronald Cope. Are you here? Yeah, come on up. Ronald got 8 of the 10 words right, and he gets a Prairie Lights gift certificate, and he gets a bunch of really excellent cookies. Yeah, they are. So don't eat them. I'm sure somebody want to take your picture. Congratulations. Be very nice. So, on behalf of the Iowa City Public Library and the committee, whom I did not thank, and I'd like to thank very much, because every year they do so much work on making this happen. This committee is B. Ferner, who I have to say was my 3rd grade teacher, Kathy Glower, Duke McGrath, who has made it all the way to almost to the end here, and Nola Nocton, who was my 1st grade teacher, and therefore I'm doing penance for all the bad things I did to them while they taught me, is why I'm here and why I'm supporting this. But they organize this committee this event every year, do a beautiful job. Once again, thanks to Hy-Vee, thanks to Prairie Lights, thanks to the library trustees, thanks to Chuck Goldberg from the Sheraton Hotel of Iowa City, and we have prizes to award. We have a 3rd place winner, which is Webster's Collegiates, which is University of Iowa Community Credit Union. Come on up. And you get stuff. And they get stuff too, by the way. Mm-hmm. And once again, if you're watching on television, if you're watching at home, we encourage you to be a part of one of these teams. It's a lot of pressure, but it's a lot of fun. We encourage you to sponsor one of these teams. We encourage you to become a part of the bookend as well, and to become a part of the Iowa City Public Library in whatever way you possibly can. Thank you very much. Oh, 2nd place. Marsh Inc. Yeah. Very good. And did 1st place get all their things? And then finally, 1st place again, the Kirkwood Killer Bees.